Hey guys, Monkey DKS here, and this is part 2 of the behind the scenes tour here at the Cube Champion Spawn Arena. This video will focus on the redstone behind the and the command blocks that run the arena. So if you're not a fan of redstone videos, this might not be the video for you, but I will try very hard to make sure that even beginners can understand what's going on. So let's go underneath here. Ah, I did not fly. All of these are basically the entire underneath is command blocks, and there's a lot of space under here because I usually leave way too much space, and this is about half of what I started with as I build it and then destroy it and condense it and build it and destroy it and condense it. But all of these are just command blocks, and it's amazing how command blocks in such a short time have completely changed how custom maps are created. It's getting even better in 1.8. I can't wait. There are so many things that I'm going to change down here. I'm very excited. Anyway, let's start here at the beginning. This is the world spawn. In the old days, you used to have to... there's my grass I threw away. /clear. Go away. In the old days, you used to have this big like tripwire platform because you could land anywhere within a one chunk radius. So it was either 16 by 16 or 32 by 32, depending on which world format it was. But now, using the /set world spawn command, I'm not going to hit enter, you can make it exactly one block wide, and everyone spawns right here. They land on this pressure plate. When that happens, it's going to run all of these command blocks under here, plus these two up there. Not those two. I'll explain that in a second. So we have effect 4, which is, I believe, mining fatigue. Yes, mining fatigue for anyone who's in game mode 2. We have clear the weather, because everybody hates the rain. We have a little tell raw that says to the nearest person, welcome to the Cube Champion Arena. Feel free to look around. Oh no, feel free to look around. It's up here. So if I push that, you can see welcome to the Cube Champion Arena. I need another button. Feel free to look around. So that says, you know, just basically hello, welcome to the server. It makes sure that everyone's in game mode 2. Most of our maps are set to default to game mode 2, which is adventure mode, but not all of them are. This is another one that sets mining fatigue, and all of this mining fatigue stuff is really just so people don't break stuff up there, because right now in adventure mode, you can break glass, you can break redstone, all sorts of stuff. In 1.8, that might be changing back to the way it used to be. Very excited about that, because that would be awesome. Over here, I have a set block command. Now this is the command that we use the most down here. And as much as possible, we use the relative command. So these little tilde marks, that says 58 blocks in the positive X, 14 blocks up, and minus 10 blocks in the Z. Put a redstone block. And that is, I can just tell you, over here, this is our timer. We have a 15-minute timer. We call it the Lost clock. If you're fans of Lost, you'll understand. There's no numbers, but you just hit the button every 15 minutes. And what happens is it puts a redstone block right here, and that triggers all of these redstone blocks, okay? Above all of my lamps, so you'll see lamps there everywhere that we put a redstone block, is a block that really just says set block one block below this block to air. So every time this command block gets activated, it sets whatever's underneath it to air. So when you put a redstone block there, it activates everything and puts that away. This tells the crew or the admin that the timer's been reset. I should actually put myself in the admin team. Give me 1 second. That way I can actually see some of the commands that are going around here. There you go. My name is now Gray. And all of these are just things like make sure that the crew's invisible, make sure that the spectator teams are invisible, all things that I will happily be able to get rid of. Make sure mining fatigue for adventure mode people. That just happens. We have to do it every 15 minutes because the way Minecraft works is you can only set it for a maximum of 1 million seconds, which is 15 and a half minutes or something like that. So every 15 minutes, we have to remember to push a button over there that sets that off. But also every time someone logs into the server, it'll set that off. So at the beginning of the game, we don't have to worry about it. Last but not least, there's a repeater here set to 2 ticks delay, and that will run that second line of text and also TP this person 21 blocks up and 11 blocks over, which is dead center right over there. So now they're here, they're in the game, they're in the arena anyway. They can look around and look out the glass wall and see the wrong side and see the whatever map we're playing up there. And if you haven't seen the other video, part 1 of this, then go look at that. But there's the walls in this case. When we are ready to start, there will be a moderator in the control room. We call him our game manager, and right now you can see Monkey Cam is there, and he's invisible. He must also be an admin because I can see him. And we have 3 walls here in our control room. The green wall is basically for the crew. They can join the crew or camera crew. Crew will get some of those red text messages like this one here that says timer's been reset. Camera crew gets none of that, obviously, because we don't want them to we don't want to see that stuff on the air. So I can clear my effects for things like this because I hate being invisible. This places please I'll talk about in a second, and there's that button for the lost clock. So someone has to push that button every 15 minutes. Over here we have a scoreboard adjuster. This is very simply because as of right now I have not found out a good way to just have a scoreboard that says this is how many people are on this team. And when someone dies and they go to a different team to do that. So we're doing that manually with pressure plates. If something goes wrong, if someone logs out in the middle of the game and they don't die and therefore go to that pressure plate that says subtract a player, then we can come over here and we can use these scoreboard adjusters. So you can see I added 1 to green, I subtract 1 to green, orange, red, purple, etc. So that's just a quick and easy way of adjusting the score if we need to. Over here, this is the game manager board. This is the button that we push to display the fireworks, start game, and start teleporters I'll talk about in a second. First off, let's go back to Places Please. Places Please is probably the most important clock that we have. What it does is it jails people on those platforms up there. When this runs, you'll see all players please report to your platforms. It'll TP everyone from, let's hop over there. Arena. It'll TP everyone who's in the stands back to the center, and it'll keep everyone up here jailed on these blocks. And if they try and run away, they will just get TP'd back to the center and they can't do it. So, game mode 1. Quickly go over here. I'll show you a secret hidden button. There's one at each of the 4 center points of the arena, and it's set so that you have to be flying in order to be able to actually get it. You can reach the button. You won't get teleported unless you're up there. But that's how we get down here quickly. And I set it way out here so that if one of the players does manage to somehow jump and teleport themselves, then they will just die and come back. Every time you die, you go back to that world spawn box. So around here, let's see. So I activated the timer. Sorry, the jail, and I can show you back here. It's a very, very simple toggle, and I learned this from Ben Baptist and Jaron. Just pop a redstone torch on the side of the block. So when this is activated, this block is activated. When you deactivate the lever, this block is activated. And it just basically sets a redstone block, and then it sets that same redstone block to air. The only reason we're doing that is because we don't want to keep any clocks running during the PvP matches, because that is just going to create lag. So that redstone block that it placed is right here, and you'll notice this one does not have a command block above it that says when it's activated, turn this to air, because this is something that's on until we turn it off. First thing that this redstone block does is it activates this command, which is another set block command for a redstone block, which comes over here, and I'll do this first because it's quicker. Actually, I've been meaning to do this too. That wasn't right. Update for map specifics. There's a couple of blocks here that we have to update every time we move this arena because the relative commands don't work. So this one in general says anyone in game mode 2 who's at a minimum radius of 51, so anyone outside the 51 block radius, teleport them to basically right above this block to the center of the arena. It also does the please report to your platforms tell raw, and it will set that block to air. Normally I have that block above that sets it to air, but this one I needed that there. It was easier for the radius. So this is the call to center. So that's the first thing that block does. The second thing it does is it activates these command blocks here, and I will show you what those do. If you look, here we have wool, purple, red, green, orange. So that obviously signifies the platforms up above. When you put a redstone block here, it activates excuse me, it turns all of those to redstone, which activates the activator rail. And activator rails work just like a repeating loop. So if I were to change this to say hi, you'll see it will say hi very quickly over and over and over and over. Let's paste that back in. This is why I copied it before I deleted it. So all that does, sorry, let me actually go over the command for you. It says TP everyone who is around this center point, 758, 134, 1, in game mode 2 with a minimum radius of 11 and a maximum radius of 14. So anyone who's within that area, back to that center point. So if you are between 11 and 14 blocks away from 758, 134, 1, teleport them to 758.5, 134, 1.5. And TPs work better with the 0.5s, not on the Y up and down, but on the left and right and forward and backwards. So there's that. Let's go shut that off. So that will jail everyone in place, and that's going to happen about 10 minutes before the map. Before the match, 5 minutes before the match. And from that point, we're going to keep everybody there. The camera people will be flying around getting, epic shots with the F8 and things like that. And they'll be like, ooh, look at the teams. Things like that. When we are ready to actually start the map, what we need to do is we need to teleport everyone to the walls, which is over there, and you see there's one of the platforms over there, there's another one down there, and there's two on that side, to each of their starting areas for the map itself. Well, what that's going to do is we'll start these teleporters. Now these teleporters, and there's a warning there for the admins, don't forget to turn this off because we hate clocks. This is a slower clock. What this does is for each of the for each of the teams, purple, red, green, and orange, it will teleport one person who's closest to the center of that platform up here, down to these blocks. So there are 2 blocks down here. Tubes. I don't know, boxes. I guess I call them boxes most of the time. There's 2 boxes down here. This is the red assignment box, and this is the red death box. When you get assigned, so this TP, this clock here, is going to put one person in here, and it's going to assign them a few things. Ignore all this crap that's underneath me. I'll talk about that at the end. It's going to make sure you clear your inventory. We don't think anybody's going to be able to get anything, but just in case. It's going to give you regeneration and health. I forget where health is. Is it that one? Yeah, health. So it will make sure that everybody is fully healed because PvP is on in this arena, so people can be punching each other and running around and jumping off stuff and hurting each other, which is fine. But it will make sure they're fully healed. It will add a player. It'll add a score to the red team so that that indicates there is one person on red. It'll also make sure this person joins the red team. And then from there, let's see, it will set their spawn point to that death box. So when they die, they'll go in there, which will do all of these things and subtract. Over here, okay, I'm going to go to the other one because I don't remember what that said. Hang on. That's what happens when you wrong click. That will TP that person to that command. I have a spreadsheet with all these commands, so it's not that big a deal that I just did that. And it'll also make sure that it clears all of the effects. So I didn't want to clear the effects. Well, we did originally clear all the effects as soon as you got on there, but then they weren't getting the 2 healing effects. So we made sure that we changed that. So there's a little bit of a delay. So all of the TPs happen 2 ticks after, which is much faster than this clock can go. So let me give you an example. Right now you can see I am in purple. I'm in the gray team, which is one of the crew teams. They're all the same color. In this case, I believe I'm admin. But if I land here, what happens is I go into the purple team. It clears my inventory. It does not set me to game mode 0 yet, and that's done on purpose because I don't want people to. Actually, it doesn't really matter. Originally, we didn't want people to be able to hurt themselves. But it doesn't really make a difference. Let's TP myself to Monkey Cam. Thanks, Monkey Cam. Way to be a dude. And now I'm not on your team anymore, so I can't see you. Okay. So that's what happens when you get teleported. And if I were to /kill, what's going to happen is I'm going to land in this purple box, which is the death box, and then I get thrown up on this invisible platform. This is white stained glass. Which I can't pick block because I'm not in game mode 1. Game mode 1, and and clear effects. But yeah, so this is all white stained glass, which in our server texture pack is invisible. Let's go back to Monkey Cam. And it also puts me in... Oh, that's interesting. Should have put me into a light gray, which is the team spectator. But I'm now in purple spectator. So let's look at what happens when you die. When you die, it puts you back in adventure mode. It will remove, it will join the purple spectator team, so it takes you out of purple, and I'll talk about why we do that in a minute. And it'll remove one player from the purple team. It will set my spawn point to that gray box over there, which is just basically if I'm in spectator mode and I die, I want to go there. I don't want to go here again because that'll subtract another person from that team. So that's basically does all of this stuff except for that. This will make sure that that person is invisible in spectator mode and that they are, I gave them some speed, a lot of speed, in fact, so that they can run around because it's a big map and it's nice to be able to run around quickly. Mining fatigue, again, so that they can't bust through the glass and fall down and then kill everyone else who died. It's a pain in the neck. And then it just makes sure it clears their inventory so they don't get to keep it. They shouldn't because they just died, but you never know. And again, another TP to the top of that glass. So in general, that is what happens during a match. Platform power is a little different. I do need the death box, but it happens in a different way because you have to test for who is on what team. All this stuff in the center is basically just a light switch. I can turn the lights on with the white and all the lights off with the black. And all of these command blocks just go to various places, like this one over here, which controls all of the lighting in the grass. We were going to use that for part of the opening of things, but it creates so much lag. It is awful. We can't even use it. Let's look down here. Down here, this is just some special stuff that we threw in. This is all just teams. It adds the purple team, the red team, green team, orange team. It adds crew. It adds camera crew. It adds spectators. It skips one. It adds purple spectator, green, blue, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then also it adds team admin. And then it sets all the options for those teams. So obviously it adds the team first, and then it says make the color dark purple, make the friendly fire off, and make it so that you can see the invisibles, which is useful for us. I wish there was a way to make it so that one team could see all of the other team's invisibles, but that's not really possible. Over here, this stuff just sets the players. Over here, the player's objective. And then it sets the sidebar and adds the teams and everything like that. So that's about that. Let's see. Over here, we have this teleporter, which is still on, by the way. Turn that clock off. And then we have the go command. And the go command varies for the different games. So I'm going to basically just do that. So the redstone block here goes down underneath. I'll show you that in a second. And that starts the game down there. And then there's a couple other command blocks that I use for different things. This one just says let the games begin. Good luck. Down here, this changes the world spawn. So what happens is there are two blocks right there. One of them removes this stone block so that it will not teleport these people. And it puts a stone block here so that this repeater will power these command blocks. So what it does is it says, hey, there's a late arrival. It tells the crew that. It tells the player who just joined, the game's already started, so contact a crew member on the TeamSpeak help channel see if you can still play, or you're just going to be a spectator. And then it joins them onto spectator, and it's up to the crew at that point and it teleports them to the glass. And it's up to the crew at that point if they want to add that person to the team, or if it's just too late and it wouldn't be fair. Stone, because we want to make sure that we're as fair as possible. And if someone joins 5 minutes after a game starts, people are dying. We don't want them to be able to just come in full health and do everything. So let us look at under arena wiring area. And Monkey Cam was closer, so he just got teleported. So what this is again There's a redstone lamp there, and our redstone lamps are changed a little bit because it works better for those clocks, and that's all server texture pack, which everyone can get when they log in. It drops a redstone block here, and of course it doesn't do anything because I don't want to have to reset the clocks. Well, actually, you can't reset the clocks. Once those clocks start, I don't know how to stop them because that redstone is beyond me. But if you've played this map before, you may remember that there's a lot of wiring underneath here that goes up and down. We've taken all of that out because when Hypixel made this map, he didn't have the set block command, so he couldn't do any of this. But basically, what happens is, I run a couple of globals, make sure everyone in game mode 2 gets to game mode 0, so they're in survival mode. Make sure that everyone in game mode 1, so all of the crew, is invisible for another 15 minutes, because we just run that whenever we can. And then this one, just make sure that all of game mode 1, game mode 2, make sure that their inventories are empty. Again, we repeat things a lot, but it's better to run it twice instead of not having it. This is a set block command, like I said, for the clocks that start, and this is the set block to air. So redstone block, air. This was before I realized that we could just put one on top, which was super convenient. And then after these 4 clocks, I think we again, do daylight cycle. We have it set so that it's always night and the stars aren't moving. If you look at the stars, they're not moving even a little bit, because you can actually stop the sun and moon. They call it a daylight cycle. And set the time for right after sunrise. It works out so that the walls fall again right after sunrise on the second day, I guess. Next thing we do is we spawn some animals. So each of these is the different teams, and what it is there are 8 cows, 12 chickens, and 4 pigs, randomly strewn about within the square of each quadrant. So each team has a little bit of food. They can last a while. And it's a very simple command, just summon cow and then some coordinates, or summon chicken and some coordinates. Beyond this is actually where it gets interesting. Oh, and here again we have a repetition of make sure their inventory is clear, make sure that everyone's invisible, and make sure that they actually made it into survival mode, because we had some problems the first time we ran this where some of those didn't make it. So we after 2 repeaters here, we just run that again, because we really want to make sure they don't have mining fatigue on them anymore. Oh, sorry, that's effect clear. That's not inventory clear. That's effect clear. That makes sure they're not mining fatigue. That's specifically what that's going for. Down here, this is actually just a fun section that we did for our own amusement. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Monkey Cam push this button in a second. But let's get over there and take a look. So first, I will look at the clock while I'm here. As you can see, the texture pack that we made for the redstone lamps makes this a lot easier to see from a distance, and that's why we did that. So when you get close, you can still see what they are, but on the other side of the arena, it's clearly a 20. Without this texture pack, am I using the texture pack, or am I using? Let's see if I'm using the server textures or not. I am using the server textures, so that doesn't work. So never mind. Without it, anyway, they're very hard. They blend in. You got to kind of squint at it for a second. Not for long, but long enough that you don't want to be staring at it. But now you can just glance at it, say, okay, 20. So here we changed Hypixel's design a little bit. Hope he doesn't mind. He had 3 holes punched in here, and what happens is they would there were some pistons down there. So you would, in a regular match, you'd just be playing with your friends. You would fly around, come to here, say TP Monkey Cam to Monkey DKS, and drop them in these holes. They were too deep, so you couldn't get out. When the game was ready to start, you would flip a lever up on his spawn, and it would run a redstone signal up here. There's a little spirally redstone thing, and it would push all of those pistons up one. We didn't want to do it that way because, well, frankly, we're hoping that we get more than that many people, and it's a pain in the neck to do it that many times. So what we did is, just for funsies, we decided we were going to open the gates with a little bit of style. So I'm going to push the button here with the other character. I'll F1 it too. And you can see they open up using command blocks, and basically in order, they just say, okay, go, do this fun little animation type thing with some repeaters to slow it down, and then I can reset it here, and it just goes back. So that's the last of the wiring underneath. I don't have Monkey Cam to teleport to anymore, So we're going to fly slowly over the arena. You can also see some redstone blocks under here, like that one. That controls the lighting for the lower stands, and some other things like that. So that's part of what that light switch was. Last but not least, let's look at the winners arena. So there are actually two of these, and they're almost an exact duplicate of each other. Over here we have the winners arena, and I'm just going to ignore everything underneath for a second. And I'm going to look here. Here's a hole in the winners arena. Don't tell anyone. All right. We have this winners arena, and I'm just going to let's see if we can let some of these chunks load here. Those guys are going to be annoying about it. That's okay. So from the top, it looks almost exactly the same, except there's one large and 3 small team platforms instead of 4 same size, evenly spaced platforms. What they are for, obviously, is for the winners of the arena. So let me TP MonkeyCam to MonkeyDKS, and then I'm invisible. You can't see me. I'm going to run underneath. Ooh, a little lag there. And so I can do things like I could start fireworks from down here. And the fireworks are obviously a little bit different. They only appear on the winners circle and not on the others. Let's go ahead and stop that. And we didn't want to go through the logic of making these all the right color, but you'll notice this is the winners arena for the purple team. You may be saying, well, what if it's not the purple team who wins? Well, that's fine and dandy. I'm going to do this manually so I don't mess up all sorts of teleporting and blah, blah, blah. This arena also has locks on the platform so that the players are stuck on there once they get there. But it also keeps track using that purple spectator, red spectator, or blah, blah, blah. It keeps track of who's on what team even after they're dead. So with the push of a button down below here, and I'll show you that in a second, the game manager can say, okay, this is the team that won, and then teleport everyone to the correct platform, which really was a pain in the neck. But I'll talk about that in a second. But let's say instead of purple, red won. Well, obviously, we need to either go to a different arena, which is more of a pain than actually what we ended up doing, or I can push a button and, using the set block command, just change the color of the 2 platforms. We'll go ahead and put those back real quick. Same thing if green were to win. I would just push a button and swap those 2 colors. So it's a really kind of a clever solution that involved a lot less command blocks editing each time. Otherwise, every time we got to a winning solution, we would have to make 4 arenas, and that would be a pain. Let's look at the redstone for that. So here we are underneath, and we took away the walls on this one because it was a little bit of a pain. In the control room, there's only a couple of options. There's that start fireworks thing, and that starts up the fireworks. You can hear them go. And then you basically say, okay, who won? Purple, red, green, or orange? And this is a manual selection. It has nothing to do with any automation or anything like that. It runs one command block that says set a redstone block 21 blocks directly below you, which is here. I think the orders are reversed. But anyway, so it puts one here, and then it does a few things. This gets rid of that redstone block. This one sets a redstone block over here. So we have what we call the winning global conditions. And this happens every time. So it puts a redstone block there. It goes away. It sets everyone into adventure mode. It clears everyone's effects. It clears your inventory. It gives you mining fatigue again, so you can't break things. Saturation and instant health, so everybody is nice and healthy. It starts the jail teleporters, oops, which we're gonna have to shut off. And then it makes sure it puts you back in the right team. So if you remember, I died when I was in purple, so I went to purple spectator. Now I'm back in purple again, so everybody can see. Purple, red, green, orange. That sign is wrong. It gives people a little bit of a lag warning. It just says, hey, there might be some lag coming when those blocks all up there change. And it runs that reset timer again, just because. It never hurts. And then it tells the admin team that the global conditions have been set. So up here, we have the exact same circuitry we had over there for the jails. So this just changes, and we didn't bother with colored wool this time because who knows what color they're going to be at any given moment. that is the jail teleport. Excuse me, teleporters. This sets air, and this sets. It's okay. So those are basically this button is just so I can shut the teleporters off correctly. And actually, let's do that there. And that also runs a reset on all the platforms. Let's go over the platforms because those are actually what's much more interesting. Pink in almost everything is our fireworks. Oh, I didn't show the fireworks underneath the other one, but that's okay. The fireworks work very simply. They say summon a fireworks rocket entity 0x0z 20 blocks up. And then basically your lifetime, they last 5 seconds. The fireworks item ID is 401. So this is all basically just the different things, and then the color changes on them. But you can see with a redstone block here, it basically just starts a loop around and runs all of that. Every time this line fires, these are the 4 blocks that are right above the sort of the I don't know what you call them, the flame cauldrons. So that's these 4 up here. Everything else is on the surface level of that platform, running around the edge. And again, these are all exact copies of the platform up above. To stop the fireworks, what we do is we just put a redstone block there, and there was a stone block right here, and that goes away, and that's what stops it. So you can see this one puts the stone block, this one takes the stone block away. So that's the fireworks. In the other arena, it's the exact same thing, except there's more fireworks around all 4 platforms, and then there's some around the edges as well. Down here, you can see, if you look closely, here are the 4 platforms: purple, orange, red, green, and they're just covered in redstone, completely covered in redstone. And they can all come from, oh, that's Monkey Camp. I'm like, why is there a floating redstone block in the middle of nowhere? He's invisible. Effect at all clear. There we go, we're back. So when I run this, it basically resets all of these. And what it does is, in case you're interested, it says set block 21 blocks above me to wool 10, which is purple. Or, in red's case, set block 26 blocks above me, because I'm a little bit lower now, to wool 14. Or wool 5, 31 blocks above, etc., etc. But when one of these other colors win, so when red wins, obviously I need someplace else to put purple, so we put purple where red is. When green wins, we need someplace else to put purple, so purple and green swap. When orange wins, etc. So each time we run this, it just says, okay, swap purple and red, and upstairs it's going to just switch those colors. So purple becomes smaller and red becomes bigger. And it's a pretty quick and easy way of doing that. And then this one here is a reset, and that only runs manually. That one is never run by the server because we just leave it like this always. So if purple wins, great, nothing has to change. If red wins, we change 2. If green wins, we change 2. If orange wins, we change 2. We were trying to do it in a way that didn't require changing all 4 of them every single time. So the order of the other 3, we just had to not care about. They're just whatever they happen to end up being, and that's fine. Down here, there's a couple other things that we do very simply. This one just says, hey, congratulations to the orange team. This starts the arena transformation, so that puts that block on one of those, in this case that orange one down there. And then we have a long wait while that does that, because I didn't want to run any other commands while we're changing 300 blocks. Then this TPs the winners. In this case, it TPs Team Orange to the winner platform. And over here, it would be green to the winner platform and red to the winner platform. And then it TPs the camera crew next, because they're the most important for the people at home. Make sure everybody can see what's going on. And then loser 1, loser 2, loser 3, depending on which one they are. And then TPs any spectators. If we had anybody come in late, it just puts these guys up on the stands somewhere up in the arena there. And then it TPs the crew. So, and then it tells the admin team again, hey, we're all done. Everything's ready now, which they already know because everybody just got TP'd there. So there's a lot of redstone and a lot of command blocks in the making of this. And one more time, here's the fireworks here that do the sides. And if I get Monkey Cam over here, Monkey Cam, Monkey DKS, and then I'm going to go to the center. Good. You can see the few different fireworks that we have going on here. If I use the other mouse, It's nice having a laptop next to you. So those run down the edges there, you can see, and then there's some up top. And there's some on each of the winners platforms as well. And those are colored to match the colors because those never have to change. But I think that's all I got. I was going to try and write a script for this, but I'm glad I didn't because I would have been writing longer than it actually recorded. Sorry for such a long video, but I hope it was interesting for you guys. And if you want to see it in person, sign up at cubechampion.com. And we'll probably be doing another one of these once 1.8 comes out, because then we'll have spectator mode. I won't need to do things like redstone, like mining fatigue, all sorts of things for spectator mode. It's just going to be easy. I just say, game mode 3, game mode 3, and I'm done. I'm actually really excited for that. But I need to figure out a way to make specific players not see friendly invisibles, because I don't want the camera crew to catch people flying around all over the place. Or maybe we do. I don't know. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you on February 23rd for our first match. It's going to be a lot of fun.